Hi Marcelli, this is John Loudon from Loudon Design. We're currently doing a review of your e-commerce photography website. So generally what I want to do is dig into what's going wrong with the website and help you position it better. So the first thing I'm noticing when I come to the page is the navigation item is almost the exact same colour as the toolbar above. You see how those two things blend together? This makes it really hard for the user to understand that this is the navigation bar. So that's a concerning thing. I would potentially move this bar to below the main logo so that it sits along this line. So you want it to come after the logo. The second thing I would notice is the telephone number is a mobile number instead of a business telephone number. So having like a 03000 or 0141 for your actual area code will help in Google, but it will also help show that as a proper business like that. So a lot of time when you see mobile numbers, people think of solo entrepreneurs, they think of sole traders, small companies. So it's just something to bear in mind. You can actually purchase a telephone number and forward it so that it goes straight to the mobile. So you're still using your phone as you would do now, but the user sees this as a actual landline number. So that's fine. Now using this image, what I do with the website is I generally discount all the wording and actually look at the image. So what is this image telling me that this person does? So do they sell shoes? How does this relate to e-commerce photography? So I'm not immediately getting this, but then the words are not reinforcing it. The best ever, Jane Davison and Sarah Murray, the best ever what? What is it that the Mainz company does? So this is where you need to outline your purpose, and ideally you would be outlining a problem. So just to use my own website as an example, you have improved conversion rates, which is the primary goal. And then how are we going to do that? Turn more visitors into customers. So for yourself, there needs to be something here about what problem your business is addressing. So you're getting more sales from e-commerce photography, reinforcing that by doing things more professionally, you'll have a greater uplift in sales. So if I look at your body copy down here, there's probably something, let's say like this line here, over 75% of online sales are lost due to poor product images. Ensure that you never lose sales needlessly by poor quality images or something like that. It can be snappier than that, but using this as a basis, so this is like a nice prominent header up here. The other thing you'll notice is see the height. Look at where the height differences are. This is a very, very tall image, so it's very, very difficult to scroll through the site. Now I can understand why these are big because you're wanting to showcase the photography, but what's important is to highlight your packages and your services, because when I actually scroll down, this is the part that's meant to be making the money. So you got the workshops, the photo packs and the marketing. These three elements should be up here. So there should be a banner that's maybe about a third of the size that it currently is, with the proposition of what problem you're going to solve, and then have the three packages so that you can reinforce the workshops, the pack shots and the marketing. Moving down the page, so there's a little bit of inconsistency here with regards to the images. These are on a white background. They all seem to be showing like glass and jewellery. So again, do you sell these things? What is the purpose of this? Having these images consistent. So you'll see this is like brand photography, I suppose, except for that one which is on a dark background, so it's a product image. And these are product images. So maybe even separating them so that it's like a row of product images and a row of brand images, just so the user in their mind can separate it. Because all of these things are promoting different sections of the website. What I do notice as well is this jewellery is number 3 on here, whereas in your menu, you're actually listing them in a different order. Reinforce these kind of things so they use the same order, and it'll help the user connect that what these are. So this is actually portfolio categories. So just say that, portfolio categories, or we offer a range of photography or e-commerce photography for a wide selection of sectors, what it is you're showing the user so that they can get that. Let's have a look at the content. How can we help? Does your photography reflect your brand identity? Is it getting you noticed in the marketplace? Okay, so this is good. It's actually keying off their worry and concern. My main concern with this content block is it's hidden away down the page. It's on a grey background, it's almost invisible. This content here could potentially be moved up so that it's like prominent. So let's recap and see how this is going to work. You're going to have your logo, your navigation, which you can cut down to fewer items, like Instagram doesn't need to be anywhere near as prominent as that. A few of these things can be folded together, like about services contact potentially. You have your email and your phone number. A better layout can be employed to actually put those in key bits of information at other locations so that you have a condensed menu. Otherwise, that's fine. You're then going to have the navigation, the main banner, which is going to be much smaller. You have these 3 sections, which is actually where you make your money, so it's important that they're here as well, right up the top of the page. So even without scrolling, I should be able to see those. Then you can go into the categories, but these need a heading. They need something to tell me what's going on here. What am I looking at? So do that, and then you have your content block. Now, I think the content block just needs to be dressed up a little bit, because it's, again, you've got like photography workshops. This line here is going to be your heading. So it's really reviewing this content and seeing what purpose it's actually serving to get it to key off the worry and concern of the user. So what you're trying to do here is basically sell into the user. What is it they're concerned about? What should they hope to achieve? What problem are you addressing for them? And then reinforce that, and what you'll find is your sales will get a bigger uplift. Copyright 2016, we're in 2017 now, so it needs updated. Down here is where you've got your Instagram again. So this can be made more prominent by use of colour. For example here, it actually ties into the colour of the page. So for example, if I was on Trespass, which is blue, then those icons are blue. So just little soft touches. Consider a newsletter as well. Ways of selling into the same customer base. You can give them tips and tricks. You know, you might do something there like download 10 tips to do to have fantastic e-commerce photography. So they sign up, they get the free guide in the first email, and then you basically promote tips every week, and then every so often you promote a service. That's a good way of selling a business that's a service businesses like my business or like your business. So let's just have a look at the service page, because that's probably the next thing that's going to come up. Services marketing, what we do. It's good to talk, 2 heads are better than 1. Okay, see when headings, when you're reading things, this is how a user's going to read this. Service marketing, what we do, shoot, editing and retouching. That's what they're going to read. And then if any of that excites them enough, then they'll consider reading these blocks. But most people, they skim through. So make sure you're selling with the headings, that the headings themselves reinforce what it is you're doing. So I've got service pages on this as well. I'm trying to think what the closest one to you would be. So looking for a new website, so that's the problem. I'm just talking straight to the user. Then your website is the voice of the world, blah, 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 what it happens to be. Now, a well-executed website will, and then I'm giving the value, increase engagement, sell, showcase, display, and then I'm reinforcing it if they desire to read more. So constantly along the way, I'm showing this, and I'm also showing the 13 years of experience, which will be updated now because it will be 14, and then I'm showing the process of how this works. So for yourself on here, you are alluding to the process, but dressing this up more so that the user can understand the process better. What's going to happen? So if I contact you to commission photography, how's that going to look? What's going to happen? What's the process? Do you come to me? Do I come to you? Do I need to do a workshop to do that? Is there packages? Help me out. Tell me about it. Photography is fine. You know, the layout, it's not a bad layout. Just think the content needs to be more punchy and really reinforcing the problems that you're solving for the user. I'm assuming that most of these pages probably look the same. Okay, so this is better because it's saying what pack shots do you need, estimates based on essentials for the pack. So you're actually given detail here of what's needed. Okay, so if you sell products online, you already know the power of first class photography. That's great, yep. Clean and simple images are essential for helping the customer. The best result, take time, patience, and a touch of OCD. Okay, that's good. No, this is really, really good. The other thing I'm noticing that's missing from here is a call to action to get in touch. So what you need is a section like this, which is basically, you know, commission you, you're asking for the business, so you give them all the contact details so they don't need to scroll to the top of the page again to get all this information. So on your website, when I scroll down, there is no information here. So this block here, like this space, should be used to upsell. So it's just a little bit of work on content. Let's have a look at a different section now. Reviews. Okay, so you've got testimonials. Right, so these testimonials are good. This is social proof. the better thing to do for yourself is see the way you're doing your portfolio and you have like images. So you have these as click-throughs just now. So you're basically, translate, what's going on there? You have basically images like this which shows a range of photography, and that's great. But for a service business, it actually works better to do that kind of stuff as a case study. So like speak about the client. What's the client's background? What sector are they in? When was the work complete? What's their sector? And then for yourself, it was like the Mainz agency, you carried it out yourself. You can give photographs. So understanding the goals. What were you trying to achieve for the client? Paint the problem. What was it you were trying to do? Research. Did you do research? Did you have a look at other sectors? Did you have to research specific kits? So Demijohn would have been specific setup for glassware. Toolstop is tools. If there's anything bespoke or unusual about the setup, you can reinforce this. Now this is obviously a web design process, but for you it would be a photography process, getting set up, how you done that. Now this is where you put the reviews. So this full review section gets removed, and then you put these alongside the case study. So what the case study does is it paints a picture of the problem, tells the user or the customer to your website what you actually did to solve the problem. If you can, you report on the results. So this is what we were doing with the slides. You had a 53% uplift after the photography was changed. It had much more traffic, more engagement, more likes and interest and impressions on social media. And then this is what the customer said. So I would actually move this towards a case study model rather than a pictures and reviews model, because people aren't going to sit and read all this stuff here. I know it is on the homepage currently on these banners that tick around, and that's fine, you know, because it is showing it in context, but it would be much better for yourself if these were case studies, and you don't need to show every single piece. You just need to show like the really good case studies, like maybe one for each thing, and then you can work on building it out over time. So I would suggest taking the reviews and then using that to build on top of the case studies, and it simplifies the menu for you again. Instagram should be in the footer because it links away from the website. Oh, no, it doesn't actually link away from the website. You've got it in a feed. Okay. So this is actually a feature of the site like this. It's showing in here. You can share, you can view it on Instagram. The issue with the Instagram feed like this is only recently have you started showing work-related Instagram feed. So I would consider that this potentially should be removed and just be listed in the footer and maybe made more prominent down here. Because natively, you can't do the things on this that you can do on Instagram. You want that engagement to take place on the social network rather than on your website. Let's have a look at your About section. So about Simon is a photographer, 18 years international experience. Okay, so this is good. It's given background detail. You can make this easier to read by putting in punchy headings. You know, 18 plus years of international experience in photographic and marketing industry. Boom, big header. What do you specialise in? Just different headings that I can scan, make it easier. That's fine. So you got a picture as well. The other thing to do is think about the image. Is this appropriate for a photography business? So that this looks like a picture of you skiing maybe, or like in a winter jacket. So think about that as well, because the more welcoming this is, then the more they're going to connect with you as a person. So even like with the sunglasses and you're kind of hiding behind the jacket, it makes it harder to connect with the person than there is a person on the other side of this. So I would show different sides of your experience. This is fine here. View your work, view your services, that's fine. Let's have a look. And then we've got contact. So you have a contact form. Again, with a mobile number, I would change this to a business number. Perfect, you have the email there, that's great. So again, this as well, see, because it says Marcelli and the About page says Marcelli, you're actually a company that has two individuals in it, and that's stronger than having one. Yeah, so to just review that, the About page should probably be a biog about you and what you specialise in specifically, and then a biog about Mark and what he specialises in specifically. And then maybe above that, it speaks about the company and how it's focused on a full e-commerce photography lifecycle, both brand images and e-commerce images, because what you'll probably find is people will connect with that better. It doesn't matter if you're doing all the work. it just gives that legitimacy that it's a bigger company than like a one person company for that as well. So what I'd do is consider doing that, and then where it says Marcelli here and in this menu, this could be like contact or inquiries or info at rather than a person's name. Now you can have your own individual email for when you're corresponding with the client. That's highly recommended. But it's just something to consider with there, because this comes across as it's one person at the other side of it, which probably it is, but there's actually two of you. So when we pitched to Gretna, we had two people, so it just reinforces that as well. The other thing that's missing from here is I'm not seeing anywhere on the website where you have logos of the companies you've worked with, the brands. That can be a really good reinforcement as well, because people will recognise a brand and say, oh, I know them. If they're good enough to work with them, they're probably good enough to work with me. So what you just noticed there is when I clicked on shop, I departed the website. So now this is actually going to a separate website entirely, and I can't navigate back from here. So how do I get back to your website? If I click on that, I can't click back. So if I accidentally move away from the website, you're trusting the user knows, like, you know, how to change the tabs, how to go back, what's happened. That's quite a jarring experience. For that, I would look and see if there's a way of integrating this into the website to pull this stuff in, or if it's relevant for that, because this could perhaps be a lower banner on this homepage somewhere down here that promotes a shop. But basically this being in the main banner is a dangerous thing. Sorry, the main navigation is dangerous because it's going to take users away from the website, and you're trying to sell your services here. So it's really, really important that they stay on the website rather than moving away from it. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for regards to the pages. If you have any questions about the review, feel free to fire me over an email. I've just tried to keep it as, you know, light touch, just having a quick look through the site. There's other things I can test, like the security of the website, the speed of the website, but that gives you a little bit of background information to get your teeth into. So hopefully that's been helpful. Thanks, Marcelli. Cheers.